Hello, very warm welcome. A video I wanted to do regarding the Spanish Grand Prix weekend, and the FIA need to clamp down on this because there will be a serious big accident in Formula One. And I've this has been a video I've been questioning whether to do, but I feel like I have to do it now because this is a safety issue. We all love F1 and we all love close wheel to wheel action, but the defending, particularly at Spain, was a joke and unsafe. And there will be a big crash if this keeps happening. So Michael Masi really needs to stamp down on this. When you're defending, you should only be allowed to move once. Time and time again, we saw Daniel Ricciardo doing at least 5 weaves to try and break the toe. Now, for me, you should be moving once down the straight and that's it. Lando Norris got a black and white flag for dangerous driving. Now, it's a persistent thing with the youth drivers. The likes of, I put Max in that category, although he has learned, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Stroll. It seems a thing. The car behind pulls out to overtake, and then the car in front moves just as they're about to pull out to overtake. An example, Max, Kimi Raikkonen, Spa 2016. Kimi Raikkonen flat out down the Kemmel straight, he goes out to overtake Max, and Max moves very late. Charles Leclerc did it at Silverstone. Max tried to overtake him, Leclerc moved very late. Lando Norris did it at Spain. It's dangerous, and it's going to cause a massive accident if it's not addressed. And like I say, I don't enjoy seeing crashes. I don't watch F1 for crashes. But this is a safety matter. If I can see this from watching it on TV, then the powers that be at the top, Masi, who is in charge, the race director, he's got to have a word with his drivers about defending, because the defending at Spain was a joke. I mean, it all started at turn 1, really, when Max was very forceful on Lewis Hamilton. To be honest, it was on the limit, but just about fair. But time and time again, we saw it at Spain, because we got a massive long straight DRS zone, drivers weaving side to side to try and break the toe. And then when defending, they're like, wait until the last minute to move. Like, if someone's going to overtake you, you should choose right or left that you're going to defend. At Spain, you would usually go to the right, but they're waiting. So Carlos Sainz was behind Lando Norris. Sainz pulled out to overtake. Norris then moved so late and deservedly got a black and white flag. And then Sainz had to jink back to the racing line with DRS wide open. And if you look back to the season, what happened at Imola? A pretty similar trait, where George Russell had his DRS wide open, and that is the consequence when it goes wrong. Obviously, the scenario was a bit different there because obviously at Imola the grass was wet. Luckily at Spain the main straight is quite wide, but this will cause a big incident. You mark my words, if they don't stamp down on this, there will be a big crash. And I would say it's a youth thing. It's the young blood of Formula One. Now, the young blood for Formula One has been fantastic. They're exciting to watch. You've got the likes of Max, George Russell, future world champions, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, a very good driver. But how many more times are we going to see, ridiculous defending? It's a joke. I mean, you've got to move. If you're going to defend, you've got to move early, not when someone... And the closing speed's a joke as well. The car behind has DRS. He's going out to overtake, and then you move, and he's got to switch back with DRS open. So a change of direction with DRS open is not safe. I don't like this one bit, and I am calling it out. I mean, as a Formula One fan, I love Formula One. I don't want to see people crash. People only watch the sport for crashes, which is wrong. I don't care who the drivers are. I don't want to see anyone crash. But there will be a big crash if the FIA don't stamp down on this. Time and time again we've seen this. I've gave you examples at Spa 2016, Silverstone 2019, and then today, 2020 Spa. We saw it with Lando Norris. Another example is Monza. Charles Leclerc moving around when he won the race in 2019 on Hamilton. Again, the young generation seem to get away with a lot. Now, I don't say that's hard racing. I say that's dangerous racing. 100%. I'm all for, like Max example, turn 1, it was very aggressive, on the limit. I don't really have an issue with that, but I have an issue with this late defending. And just look back at some of the races, and it seems the thing with a young generation where they defend ever so late. And the closing speed for the car behind, it will cause a huge accident, a bit like Mark Webber and Kovalainen at Valencia. You can't afford to be moving that late. Just think about it, the closing speed, you hit the rear wing, you're going to go airborne. Now I would say this is a safety matter, and Massey, instead of messing around with track limits, let's have a serious discussion about the standard of driving and the level of defending. Very early in the morning, I think it's about 7 o'clock, 7:15. I just got up, but I want to do this video because usually I do practice reaction, quali, race, driver ratings, which we have done, but I want to do this video on a safety ground. There's going to be a huge crash in Formula 1 if this is not addressed, because time and time again it keeps happening. I mean, I feel a bit harsh digging out Lando Norris, but he was the main ambassador to do it at Spain. And he got a black and white flag for it. Charles Leclerc got a black and white flag for it. At Monza, I mean, it was obvious. Carlos Sainz had DRS on Lando Norris. He goes to the right to overtake him. Then Lando moves, so Carlos Sainz has to dink back to the racing line. It's extremely dangerous. 200 mile an hour, and you're switching direction with DRS wide open. It's absolutely madness. And yeah, we all love Formula 1. We all love wheel-to-wheel action. But if we don't address this matter, it's going to end up in a mega shunt. And I don't want to see that. Yeah. Of course, the F1 car is very safe these days with the halo, etc. But this has got to be addressed 100%. I've got a really itchy nose with putting this close to my mouth. Yeah. Comment down below your thoughts. Surely it's not just me that keeps seeing this week in, week out of the young generation. Instead of defending early, they defend at the latest possible point. And the car behind has to take avoiding action, basically. The most dangerous one I've ever seen regarding this matter was the one at Spa. And that was when Max was pretty inexperienced. So, yeah, Kimi Räikkönen, he went to overtake Max down the Kemmel Straight. He literally pulled out to overtake him. Max moved. And then Kimi literally had to lift on the straight. It'd be interesting to know your thoughts on this subject, on this topic. But this is not a new thing. I've been debating this for a while now. And for me at Spain, it was completely dangerous, unacceptable driving standards. And if it's not addressed, a big crash will happen. You got a car with DRS behind, he's coming out to overtake, and then someone moves late. A big crash will happen if this is not addressed. Comment down below, we'll always reply. And yeah, I give an honest opinion, that's my honest opinion. This has to be addressed by Michael Massey, the FIA race director.